The Nuggets in a tight spot. Can they get themselves out? Let's find out. You're watching CS 105.1, where I talk about sports with good vibes. Let's get it. How's it going, everyone, and welcome. I'm CS Chandler, here for another take of Nuggets basketball. Well, the Nuggets were in the Garden tonight facing the New York Knicks. Starting lineup was Nikola Jokić, Michael Porter Jr., Jamal Murray, Russell Westbrook, and then an interesting switch was Aaron Gordon played as a starter tonight, and CB, Christian Braun, played off the bench. Malone, I feel like, is kind of getting a little desperate with his lineups, and so he's starting to try to switch and do some new things. And I don't know how I feel about this one, but it definitely had some kind of effect, at least when you compare it to the previous game against the Knicks. So tonight the Nuggets were wearing their white jerseys, the Knicks with their dark blue. So, they had their regular blue, and they have their white, and I think they have their city jerseys. But then they also have their dark blue jerseys, and they wore that tonight. The Knicks got a win tonight. They are on a heating streak, and they put the Nuggets on a losing streak. Final score, 122-112. So that's for my Nuggets fans, and for me, let's turn that back. And now for, since I do like the Knicks as well, the Knicks got a win. Let's go. 122-112. Orange and blue skies, baby. So let's break down the game. What happened? The Nuggets controlled the tip with Jokić getting a layup for the first points of the game. It's always good when the Nuggets get the first points and they get the tip and everything. There's always a little bit of seeing some trends of going the right way. But then lately they've been going in the right way, and then they just kind of stop on the break, and they just completely kill their momentum, allowing the other teams to actually get breathing room, and then they run with it. So Jokić got into foul trouble early on with 2 fouls and had to be put on the bench for CB to get checked in. And the Knicks took advantage of this with OG Anunoby scoring 3 consecutive buckets, pushing the Knicks up by 6 and forcing Coach Malone to an early timeout. Out of the break, though, MPJ turned the ball over, leading to a Brunson 3 that extended that lead to 9. Murray lost the possession, allowing Brunson to convert a layup plus a foul to push the lead to 12. Then the Nuggets fought back a little bit, trimming the deficit down to 8 before the Knicks successfully challenged an out-of-bounds call. And luckily, the Nuggets did not quit. They kept on pushing forward, and Murray became clutch Murray in the first quarter, buried a deep 3, cutting that lead to just 4, as the Knicks took the first quarter 31-27. Then the second quarter happened with no Jokić minutes. Still, Jokić sat out the majority of that first quarter, and then he sat out the majority of the second quarter. It was crazy how Malone just sat him for so long. I know he had 2 fouls, but man, there was a lot of bad calls from Malone tonight. Him sitting out both Jokić and Murray in the start of the second, and the Nuggets struggled early by committing an early foul on Shamet. Luckily, Shamet missed both free throws. Cat, though, got a layup for the first points of the quarter, while Malone successfully challenged an out-of-bounds call after that. So they both got successful challenges, and yet neither one of them would actually use their second challenge at all the rest of the game. So that was basically the end of the challenges. And Malone could have easily have challenged some other calls that he didn't, and instead he just used his timeouts instead. Then Strother hit a floater to cut the lead to 2. Piwat got fouled, sinking both free throws to tie the game. but it was McBride who responded with a floater to put the Knicks back up by 2. Then Brody went to the line for free throws, got both of them, and got it back to a tie. The Knicks then found their rhythm from deep with McBride and Anunoby both drilling back-to-back threes to push the lead to 6. Finally, Jokić and Murray returned as AG scored to keep the Nuggets in it, and Precious Achiuwa threw down a dunk to get the Knicks first to 50. So that's one aspect where I've noticed it's usually first to 50, whoever wins the first quarter, whoever wins the second quarter, and then the first to 100. Usually, and especially if you get all of those 4, the chances of you winning are pretty high. And so we saw a lot of that in this game. So they won the first quarter. Now they're the first ones to 50. MPJ finally got on the board with a much-needed 3, making it a 3-point game. However, a series of frantic and sloppy plays allowed the Knicks to extend the lead back to 8. The Knicks edged out the second quarter 29-27, taking a 60-54 lead into halftime. The third quarter, the Knicks opened the third quarter with a missed shot from Cat, allowing Brody to capitalize with a layup for the first points of the half. Murray followed with a layup of his own, cutting the deficit to 2, forcing Thibodeau to call an early timeout. MPJ tipped in a shot to tie the game, but Brunson immediately responded with a 3 to put the Knicks back up. MPJ then got to the line and knocked down both free throws, and Murray drained a 3 to give the Nuggets their first lead of the game. It was when this happened that I started to feel pretty good, like, okay, maybe we are going to win this thing, because as I said last time around, that the Nuggets don't go on 3-game losing streaks. Tonight proved me wrong, and I was hoping that I was going to be right, because this was starting to look maybe a little bit good. If we looked at the game with the Bulls, we won both first and second quarters. We should have been up by 20 in the third, and then the Bulls just kind of out-hustled us in that second quarter. Even though we won, they took that. And so I was kind of hoping the reverse of that would happen today, and the Nuggets would do that to the Knicks, but not in the cards. So Murray then hit a step-back floater to extend that lead to 4, followed by AG finishing on a bunny hop from Jokić assist to push it to 6. OG Anunoby, though, answered with a 3, but Murray responded back with his own 3 to keep the lead at 6. Momentum shifted, though, when Murray picked up his 4th foul, forcing Malone to sit him out, and the Knicks took advantage of this, obviously. If you know anything about the Knicks, they are ruthless at times, which is one of the things I like when I see them play other teams, but when you play the Nuggets, it's a different situation. I was definitely rooting hard for the Nuggets to win this one, but man, they're a tough team. And so making a transition foul, a take foul shot to cut the lead to 5. And I don't know if I would have called that a transition take foul. It was on Brody, and it was more or less just gravity pulling him down, and just the unfortunate way that he was landing, that he came down on. I think it was Precious Achiuwa, and so they ruled it take foul and gave them a free throw, and then they had the ball on top of that, and so they knocked down the free throw, and then Jokić responded with a clutch 3, followed by CB knocking down from deep to regain control. And then, however, a turnover by Brody led to Cat to tip it in, giving the Knicks a 1-point lead. And then New York caught fire, extending the lead to 7 with a 3 from Mikal Bridges. Despite a strong effort from the Nuggets, the Knicks took the third quarter as well, 33-32. Like, I don't know what's going on with the Nuggets, everyone. Like, this is just ridiculous what's going on with them. They don't go on 3-game losing streaks, and here we are, a 3-game losing streak. The Knicks won the first quarter. They won the second quarter. They got to 50 first. And now they won the third quarter. That's crazy. We should have won at least one quarter, and yet Knicks won the third quarter. Fourth quarter happens. The Nuggets opened the fourth quarter with a missed shot, but hustled for the rebound, leading Strother to knock down a three for the first points of the period. However, the Knicks quickly responded with back-to-back buckets, reaching 100 first. There you go. They were the first ones to 100 as well. So they had the entire deck now, right? They were the first to 50. They won the first, second, and third. Now they're the first to 100. Like, this is just getting ridiculous now. New York kept the momentum going, extending their lead to 10 or to 12 with a 10-0 run before Jokić finally stopped the bleeding with a three. Despite their struggles, Jokić managed to knock down another three, keeping the deficit at 7. AG followed up with a clutch three of his own, cutting the lead to just 4. But the Knicks answered with another run, pushing their lead back to 10. The Nuggets fought to stay in it, but it wasn't enough as the Knicks controlled the closing minutes, taking the fourth quarter as well, 29-26, and they win. Final score again, 122-112. This is a new low for the Nuggets, so I'll just say that. This is a new low for the Nuggets, and we're going to get into that with the takeaways, but we'll first, when we come back from the break, we're going to get to stats right after this. Hey everyone, let's talk sound quality. Imagine having pro-level audio that's easy to set up, flexible, and sounds incredible. That's the Røde Pod Mic USB. It's got both USB and XLR connections, so whether you're recording solo at home or in a full studio setup, you're covered. And get this, the built-in DSP effects let you adjust the sound with zero lag. You get that deep, smooth broadcast tone right out of the box. It's versatile, powerful, and basically makes your voice sound like pure gold. And we're back. All right, so let's go over these stats here. Michael Porter Jr. played 25 minutes tonight. He had 9 points, 3 rebounds, 2 assists, 1 block. He was 3 for 8 from field goals, 1 for 5 from three-pointers, 2 for 2 from free throws, 1 turnover, 2 personal fouls, was a -10. And I've got to be honest, I'm trying to stay positive as much as possible, but MPJ is making it very difficult to be positive right now. He has had a horrible last 2 weeks. I can't remember the last time he's had a good game. Even in those games where we won, when we won those 4 in a row recently, he wasn't having his best games. And that's really unfortunate. I think the last one, the last good game that he had was probably when Jamal had that awesome game in Dallas. Like, that's probably the last game that he did well in. And I think it was also without Jokić too, right? So MPJ is not making a good case for him not to be traded right now. I hate to say it. And maybe that's what needs to happen because he's looking very sluggish. Very, very sluggish. So AG played 30 minutes tonight. He had 15 points, 6 rebounds, 1 assist, 6 for 7 from field goals, 1 for 1 from three-pointers, 2 for 2 from free throws, 2 turnovers, 0 personal fouls, was a -2. One thing that's really annoying with AG lately is he keeps on going with the step back. That's not in his card deck of plays or attempts or shot attempts. He's not a step back kind of guy, and yet he's been doing it a lot. He is much better when he drives to the rim, and because he is one of the strongest guys on the Nuggets, like he's able to actually go and muscle it up and try to get it in. And if he doesn't get in, he actually at least gets fouled and can make some shots that way. But lately, he's just been really doing the step back. And I understand he's trying to extend his card deck and everything of plays and everything, but that's just really getting frustrating watching him miss shots at times with the step back. It's a lot better for him to just drive. And then Jokić played 33 minutes. He had a horrible game tonight. This was probably the worst game of the season for Jokić. He had 17 points, 6 rebounds, 6 assists, 2 steals, 1 block, 6 for 15 from field goals, 3 for 7 from three-pointers, 2 for 2 from free throws, 2 turnovers, 3 personal fouls was a -3. So right there, he had 3 personal fouls, and yet he sat out almost half of the game. Like, in that first half, he sat out the majority of the first quarter and the majority of the second quarter. Had he at least played a little bit more, like, okay, he had 3 fouls. You don't get ejected until you get 6. Like, come on, Malone. Why did you sit him out for that long? That was just uncalled for. And then he was not great with his efficiency. 40%, 42% from 3. Not great. 3 for 7 from 3. That's unfortunate. And then Russell Westbrook. Russell Westbrook had a decent game tonight. He played 37 minutes. He actually played the most amount of minutes tonight for a Nugget, which is normally Jamal Murray, but it's only by a few seconds. Jamal Murray played 37 minutes as well, so Russell Westbrook played 37 minutes, 13 seconds. Murray played 37 minutes, 7 seconds. So there is a 6-second difference between the two. So you can pretty much say they played the same amount of minutes. But he had a double-double. He had 14 points, 14 rebounds, 4 assists, 1 amazing block that I was hoping would spark some kind of energy and effort for the Nuggets to kind of push on defensively to win this game. He had 5 for 11 from from field goals, 0 for 2 from threes, 4 for 6 from free throws, 4 turnovers, 4 personal fouls was a -5. Jamal Murray played, again, 37 minutes, 33 points, 5 rebounds, 6 assists, 1 steal, 1 block, 13 for 25 from field goals, 3 for 7 from 3, 4 for 5 from free throws, 3 turnovers, 5 personal fouls was a -4. They almost got him out. So him, I can understand resting him when you needed to because of those fouls. I don't know if I necessarily agree with him sitting out that beginning of that second quarter. And then there was times where he was taken out when he was heating up. I would have just let him continue to play. But he had the same percentage for 3 as Jokić did, but he had a much better field goal percentage there. So, and 33 points, that's nothing to sneeze at. That's pretty good. He's definitely our best guy tonight. So, and then Christian Braun played 28 minutes. He had 13 points. So he's sticking with that double-digit point averaging, and he had 5 rebounds. And then his efficiency was actually not that bad. He was 4 for 8 from field goals, 1 for 2 from 3. And then he made all 4 of his free throws. He had 1 turnover, 2 personal fouls, but he was a -18, which is really weird. And then Peyton Watson did not get a block tonight. So once again, the averaging of blocks for Peyton Watson goes back to 0 again and starts once again. Well, hopefully next game he'll get a block or a couple. So overall stats here, we had 47 rebounds to their 35. So we did out-rebound them. That's good to see. We had 21 assists to their 33. So we're number 1. We lead the league in moving the ball around in assists. And yet the Knicks tonight out-assisted us. They moved the ball around a lot more than we did. That's crazy. 3 steals to their 7. 5 blocks to their 2, 48% from field, they were 51, 35% from 3, they were 41, and real quick, we made 10, and we shot 28, attempted 28 threes. They made 14, and they shot 34. So, there's so many other teams that are actually attempting threes a lot more than we are, and they're getting the advantage from it. It's because also, again, our contesting threes is just horrendous. So, even the bad teams who don't normally shoot a lot of threes are able to make threes when they face us. It's really unfortunate. We had an 87% in free throws. They had 66%. We had 14 turnovers to their 5. and 19 fouls to their 16. So it was a very foul-heavy game again, and the Knicks capitalized with that. And it just kind of really was like there's some like at least we only had 14 turnovers tonight and not 20. 14 is still a lot, but at least it's not 20. I guess that's the positive side there. There is some cleanup. And then a big takeaway that I'll get into more of, but one big takeaway is the fact that the Knicks didn't beat us by 45 this time. We actually were able to stick in the game a little bit more, and they only won by 10 this time. So little small steps, but we'll get into big takeaways after this. As a cinematographer, photographer, and now a podcaster, I do believe lighting is everything. And if you're serious about creating dynamic content, you need to check out Nanlite. They're all about precision and control. Whether it's soft, natural lighting or vibrant colors, Nanlite gives you full flexibility to set the mood for any scene. From compact LEDs to powerful softboxes, Nanlite has light solutions that fit every setup. It's ideal for photographers, like myself, videographers, like myself, and creators who want to pro-grade quality right out on their fingertips. With Nanlite, you're lighting like a pro every time. And we're back. All right, so big takeaway here. My big takeaway from this game is that before these last 3 games, the Nuggets were looking like they were on an uphill trend, and that everything that was blaring for us to make a trade was kind of going out the window, and we finally had what we needed to have all along, and we were riding this train up the hill with ease. Now we've had our first 3-game losing streak this season, our first 3-game losing streak in a while. I don't even remember the last time that we've had a 3-game losing streak. And now the issue of trading has now come back in. And if we are going to trade someone, I hate to say it, I love Michael Porter Jr. I love him. If you don't know his situation, then you don't understand how amazing it is what he is doing on the court every single day, having had 2 back surgeries and is still able to put forth the effort that he is putting on a nightly basis. The fact that last year he only missed 1 game. He went to 81 games he played last year. And so far, he's played all of the games this year, all 47 so far. So the effort there is tremendous and is amazing. But Michael Porter Jr. lately has been really slow, and he's been very sluggish, sloppy, and constantly ball watching. And he's not as efficient and putting up high enough numbers that he normally has been putting up. And so I feel like now is the time to trade him, unfortunately, to get someone that could probably be better at defense. We need a better defender. We have like 2 good, maybe you could argue 3 good defenders with Russell Westbrook, Jamal Murray, and then Aaron Gordon. Christian Brown can sometimes be a good defender when he wants to be, and then Jokić is, he's up there with steals in the league, so it's not like he's horrible at defending. Jokić is actually pretty good at defending, but the overall team, they either get into foul trouble or they allow easy buckets for the other team. This uncontesting of threes. When you watch a Celtics game, as much as I hate the Celtics, you will always see Derek White flying all over the court from one end to the other, even if the rest of, say some of the Celtics are on one side of the court and one open guy on the other team is shooting a 3, you will see Derek White hustle and run to that person trying to contest that 3. And most of the time, actually, it works. As much as I hate the Celtics, I will say that they do have a lot of effort in defense. Then you look at the OKC. They're number 1 right now, and they actually jumped up to number 1 overall in the league. And so they are number 1 in defense. And why? Because they make you feel uncomfortable in every single shot that you're taking. They are sticking with you. And I think that's one part of being young is they have the energy to be able to stay up. But they just are incredible athletes right now. As much as I hate them as well, I will give them credit. They have a great athleticism. And they're making it difficult for teams to shoot buckets. You don't really get an easy bucket with OKC. You don't get an easy bucket with the Rockets. They're also doing a really good job defensively. And so then you look at the Nuggets and you're trying to figure out what it is. And defense is our biggest struggle right now. I mean, we shot 112 tonight. The Knicks have one of the worst benches, and yet they outplayed our bench tonight. And so defense is a huge issue, and still our bench is an issue. So you want to probably trade Michael Porter Jr., and then obviously we need to get rid of Sarge. He hasn't been playing at all, and he's not doing anything for us. When he does play, he's horrible. And then we don't use Zeke either. And so you want to probably get rid of those two with Michael Porter Jr. and maybe a couple of round picks later on, future round picks. So, but what kind of player do we need? And I think the biggest one is a defensive player that maybe then can allow us to play maybe AG or CB more off the bench to help those bench minutes grow and be better and stronger. And then, if the Nuggets were able to solidify Brody as that point guard, make him the main point guard, and then you make Jamal Murray the shooting guard, and then all of a sudden, all of the plays are going through Jokić and Russ, leaving Jamal open for these good shots. But they're not doing that right now. And then at the same time, AG, I think, is trying to do too much. He is really good as the cleanup guy. He needs to stay as the cleanup guy. And so if we were to trade for someone to be in the Michael Porter spot, that would allow to add some more pressure defensively, and then also maybe could take away some of the pressure from Jamal so that Jamal can get back to shooting efficiently, high, pointage wise. So there was several times tonight where you saw that one of the Nuggets get their pocket picked, and the Knicks didn't really have a good control over the ball, but the Nuggets would just kind of let them take it. They would look at it and then, okay, well, I'm not going to get that. The hustle was just not there. And so far, this road trip that they've been on has been disastrous. We were doing a pretty good job at home all of a sudden, but now we've really fallen behind. And the two games that we were hopeful to have won, we have now lost. This was the most difficult game that we were going to face the Knicks, because they are the 3rd seed in the Eastern Conference. They are playing at a high level. And then the next games, obviously, were going to be the Sixers and the Hornets, who we were favored against. But now we've lost 3 games in a row. We've lost to the Bulls, who are a 10 seed in the Eastern Conference and who are actually below us in the overall rankings. And now we've lost to the Knicks as well. The next one we're playing is the Sixers. And if we can't play at this high level that we've been playing at, we're going to lose again to that. We're going to go on a 4-game losing streak. As I said before, the Hornets are no team to sneeze at. They play hard and they play right. There's just a couple of things here and there that makes them a little sloppy enough to keep on losing games. But for the most part, they actually put on some really close games. Most of their games are very close. So, this is not as easy as it should have been for the Nuggets. Now, it's almost like they want to play on hard mode. And they have lost they've gotten really tired. I think maybe going on those 4-game winning streaks really out-tired them. got them very exhausted, and hopefully coming out of the All-Star break, they'll be a lot better. I remember last year coming out of the All-Star break, they had the best record coming out of that. So hopefully they just need a little bit of rest to help get back into things, but who knows at this point. I mean, Jokić also had a horrible game tonight. He was like the turnovers that he was giving. You know, when you talk about Jokić, one of the main things you're talking about with Jokić is his ability to assist. He had some amazing assists tonight, but he also had some horrible assists, very uncharacteristic assists for Jokić. And so, like, I don't know what's going on, if it's just a super being tired or if it's a protest. I don't know, but things need to change. And I think right now the Nuggets are getting a little stagnant, and they need a little bit of change in the lineup. You know, maybe refresh things a little bit, and hopefully we can be kind of like what the Mavs did last year and really go hard, strong, coming out of the All-Star break. So what does this loss do for the Nuggets? So with this loss, well, first of all, this means this loss gave the New York Knicks a 5-game winning streak now. They are just a game behind Boston, and the Boston actually defeated the Bulls horribly tonight. They whooped their ass, as something that the Nuggets should have done the other night. But as we're not going to talk about that right now. So we now have, again, as I said, that 3-game losing streak. We are 28-19. We are now a game ahead of the Lakers. Luckily, the Lakers lost. So they are 26-19. We are now 28-19. And we are now below .600. So this is not going well. We need to play better. We desperately need to win these next 2 games. And then I would say we need to win every single game going into the All-Star break. That's winning against the Magic. That's winning against the Pelicans. That's winning against the Blazers, the Trailblazers. And that's also winning against, obviously, the Hornets and the Sixers. We need to win those games. If we are not going to win those games, it's going to put us in a horrible situation coming out of the All-Star break, and I don't think that we're going to even be in the 4th seed if that's the case. So this last 3 games has not been very positive for the Nuggets. I think it's made them less of a contender for the chip, and I hate to say it. And I hate for that reality to be a thing, but it really is. Like, all I want is the Nuggets to be back to that chip year and get back to winning. And something needs to change, because they're going back to their bad habits, and it's gotten really bad now. So we'll see what they do. Hopefully, it would be really nice if they didn't have to trade for anyone and they could just stay the way they are and play better, play stronger defense, be more aggressive, because that's what this league is asking for, or is kind of more or less just demanding of people. So, but we are now 3 games behind Memphis with this loss. We are 3 games behind them now. We are 4.5 games behind Houston. So, like I said before, to kind of reestablish expectations, I don't see us getting the 2nd seed now anymore. The only way that we can maybe get ahead if we won some is to hopefully maybe try to get the 3rd seed. If the season ended today, then we would be facing the Memphis Grizzlies. They are a really powerful team, and I don't know if Jamal Murray plays, then I don't know if that's a team that we can win against, honestly. So we might be a 1st-round exit at this point if the season were to end right now. Luckily, it doesn't, so we still have some time to fix things, but time is running out, and we don't want to be wasting Jokic's prime years right now. So they need to make a trade. I feel like now they're kind of up against the wall, and they need to switch things up to capitalize on those prime time minutes of Jokić. But The next game, as I said, is on Friday with the Sixers, again on ESPN. Luckily, I was able to watch this game because I got a free trial from the DirecTV streaming service. So I'm doing that. That's going to end on Sunday. So I'll be able to watch today's, or I was able to watch today's game, and I'll be able to watch the Sixers game. And I don't know if I'll be able to do a episode for that game or not, because I will be out of town. So we'll see. But I'll also hopefully try to do an episode for the Hornets game. So. But that's pretty much all I got for this episode. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please give it a like and subscribe, share it out to your friends and family. And you've been watching CS 105.1, where I talk about sports with good vibes. We'll catch you later.